repaired the damage incurred by the tyrannic raiders. Combat and sensor systems returning to optimal functionality.
Our first hyperdrive test led to near genocide. Karak, destroyed. All of us, all that's left, hunted by 2 alien races.
We must focus on the matter at hand. Elimination of the fleet that destroyed our world. Coming up on hyperspace coordinates.
Hyperspace successful. Current position and pre-jump coordinates are in perfect alignment. We are on target.
We detect large resource deposits but no vessels. It is possible that the Taidaan could be hiding in the denser portions of the belt. It may cause interference with our sensors. Send probes to investigate. All fleet assets should be kept on alert.
Hi everyone, this is Boomer and welcome back to Let's Play Homeworld Remastered. This time we are in search of the Taidaan Fleet, which has destroyed Karak, and we're going to take our revenge on them. As you can see, I've got my completely stolen fleet from the last mission, or my lovely new ion array frigates, and my, of course, better than anything else, salvage corvettes. So let's see, what do we want to do here? Well, I've not got a full fleet of salvage corvettes at the moment, so I think that we're going to have to rectify that. So let's do that. This mission is going to be the first mission where we're going to encounter destroyers, and it's also going to be the first mission where we encounter a carrier that we can actually steal, so I'm looking forward to this one. This is the last mission in pretty much Operation Revenge, because once we've destroyed the fleet that decimated Karak, what else are we going to do? And one thing that does come to mind in this, when you saw the map initially, there's basically a point in the map, sort of a bit between the two resource lines. Once you cross that, it triggers the Taidaan invasion. So as long as you stay behind that, you've got as much time as you would like to do what you want. Now, something that I did notice when I was playing through a few later levels is that the AI seems to, or the game seems to set all your ships on passive when you first see it, and that's terrible. You don't want them on passive. I spent many a fruitless hour when I was trying to do some of the harder missions in the game, wondering why my ships were just getting utterly decimated and nothing was happening. It was because I was playing on passive, and the ships just wouldn't fire unless they were... I don't think they fire unless they're actually being physically fired upon if they're in passive. So therefore your ships just sit there waiting to be shot at, and that's not the best way to work this, especially when you've got ships that are designed to, which you do later on in the game, which are designed to basically spray fire absolutely everywhere, and if they're just unwilling to and then go to single target attacking, you get the idea that things are going to go south for you pretty quickly. So we've not got any research to do yet, so I guess we're just going to do some mining for a bit. Try and get our RUs up, because we're going to have plenty of stuff we're going to want to build. But I'm just going to move my fleet out because I know where I'm going to have to intercept, and I'd just like my salvage corvettes, to be honest, I'd like them a little bit out of the way from where they are now. And yeah, here's our ion array frigates. Beautiful. Well, at least in my knowledge. They fire beams. What more do you want? Beams are cool. And I think they're blue as well, which makes it even better coming out of these things.
Local resources exhausted, fleet. Moving on. Acknowledged. Roger.
Research Division reports it is now equipped for plasma bomb technology. We advise commencing research immediately.
Oh yes indeedy, I will certainly be doing that, because plasma bomb technology leads to attack bombers, and even in this version of Homeworld, where fighters have very little use outside of being cannon fodder, attack bombers are still very useful.
Group 2 reporting.
You can see me just showing off my iron array frigate there, and here in fact is a missile corvette, which is one of the ships again that I have stolen from the Tyrannic Raiders. Very useful against fighters. Anything with missiles on it tends to be very good against fighters, and actually a ship that I can't build myself, so that was why I decided it was very useful to steal. Still, we're going to just skip through the research for the plasma bomb launcher because there's not really too much happening, but I think we're about to see the Taidaan, so let's prepare for that.
Assembly underway. Berths are clear.
Ship profiles and markings match those from the recording at Karak. There is no doubt that this is the fleet. Destroy them.
Group 6 copies. Docking with mothership.
Well, that was very rude of the Taidaan turning up when they did. I mean, come on, I'm trying to create art here and I'm trying to show off my attack bombers. And what do? Turn up and try and blow me up. That's just really not fair. Well, I suppose I've just got to do the same, haven't I? You can see there's so many RUs in this mission. So many RUs. And I think we're going to end up putting at least some of those to use. But first things first, I've got to get my miners out of the way because they're going to get harassed by these fighters, and let's get going. I have put my fighters on aggressive so they will chase everything, and I'm not too sure whether that's right or not. Whether I put them on attack or defend, not too sure. I do know that I like putting them on evasive just so that they have that little bit more maneuverability, because maneuverability is a sort of big deal, especially when dealing with capital ships. So it gets them to where they need to be faster. I think I'm also using attack bombers as fighters here, which I'm pretty sure isn't correct, but between the attack bombers and the corvettes, I think I should be fine. I think my ion cannon frigates have even managed to tag a couple of the fighters there, which is always amusing when an ion cannon frigate nails a fight, because I think that ion cannon frigates have something like a 1% field of fire. So if you get shot by one of those as a fighter, you get pretty much everything you deserve. It's not something that you're going to be proud to write home about. Well, assuming you can write home when you're atomized.
Group 4. Repair order confirmed.
Sensors indicate the enemy is harvesting resources. Destroy their collector to impair ship production.
Resource collector.
Did I hear you say destroy fleet command? No, 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 no. Mustn't kill, mustn't kill. Oh, they're just sending probes this way. I don't want probes. They'll get blown up. Yeah, there we go. I saw them. Yes, resource collectors. Salvage corvettes sitting over here, innocently out of the way. Mine, 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 mine. Now, one thing you will notice about Homeworld Remastered, especially when you compare it to Homeworld 1, is that the AI in this game hates salvage corvettes, and I really mean hates them. It will pretty much throw all its forces at your salvage corvettes at the risk of basically destroying his whole fleet.
Enemy capital ships appear to have lighter armor on the top, bottom, and rear sides. Our capital ships should be issued move orders while attacking to take advantage of this weakness.
Not bad advice at all there from command. Although, having said that though, I do have massively overwhelming firepower in the middle of that area. I think there's half a dozen assault frigates there against a fleet of ion cannon frigates, and there's only one winner there. Assault frigates are amazing at taking fighters and corvettes, but they are not very good against other capital ships. I am about to make a terrible mistake with my salvage corvettes though, so see if you can figure out what that mistake is.
Strike group under enemy attack. Watch your 6.
The enemy is using a new fighter-class ship with strong defensive capabilities but low maneuverability. Our research division reports that it can produce a similar vessel. Begin research as soon as possible.
No, it's not beginning research on fighters. What I did with my salvage corvettes, which was extremely stupid, was that instead of attacking the assault frigates from the side, which is the easy way to deal with them. I attacked the assault frigates, or I went to try and capture the assault frigates from the front. And when you do that, yeah, your ships tend to end up sticking right down the middle of the main guns. Now, it looks like I may have captured a few more assault frigates here, which is cool, but I can see what's coming on top of the screen there, and yeah, that is a destroyer, and I don't believe it's alone. So what I'm doing at the moment is just using my capital ship fleet and my corvette fleet to take out these ships in the middle. I believe they're support frigates as well. So the support frigate is basically a big version of the repair corvette, and fighters can dock with it, but all they've done is basically just sat still, and it looks like my capital ships are tearing them to pieces, which is cool. Unfortunately, we've got fighters here which are ripping my salvage corvettes a new one again, and I don't want this to happen because I want those destroyers, and that's not going to happen if I keep getting my salvage corvettes harassed. So I'm trying to move them away. And I believe my keyboard shortcuts at this point like gave up on me, so I'm not happy at this point. It looks like I'm going to try and steal these ion cannon frigates. The one thing that you have to be careful about with Homeworld Remastered is that in the first game, or at least this might just be my memory, but in the first game you could literally just grab all your salvage corvettes and just say salvage these ships, and they would try and figure it out as best as they could. In this game, if you do that, your salvage corvettes will just sit there in midair and get destroyed, which is a terrible thing to have happen to them. And you can see here, I've sort of sat them all on that destroyer, and it's not a good idea because my capital fleet is way behind, and again, I'm just sitting my salvage corvettes right in front of the other two destroyers, and they won't last 5 minutes under that sort of bombardment. So my salvage corvettes are not doing the job, but that's because I'm the one who's not doing things correctly on this front. I have managed to immobilize one destroyer with my salvage corvettes, so my initial idea was to try and get all the destroyers here. I don't think that's going to happen in any way, shape or form because I'm just not doing this correctly. And for some reason, those ion cannon frigates are still around, even though my corvettes should have easily taken care of them by now. And oh god, oh god. Yeah, this has degenerated really badly at this point because my salvage corvettes are getting absolutely eaten up. And yeah, this is because and also I've left my big fleet up at the top of the ship, so this is a pretty big cacophony of errors basically by myself here. And finally I've got my destroyer fleet in action, and well, not my destroyer fleet, but my heavy fleet in action. And oh god, you can see them focusing on that salvage corvette. You've got 3 destroyers. The moment it sees a salvage corvette, it just goes, I don't like you, and starts firing at it. Whoa! Get in the ship if you can, but I think it's going to die before it gets in the ship. Yeah, it just took a shot. Ugh. Yeah, this has gone about as badly as I could have hoped. I think what I'm going to do is destroy the other destroyers that are in there, or at least that's the idea. Just destroy 2 of the destroyers and build enough salvage corvettes to be able to take 1. To be fair, if I didn't get anything here, I would probably restart the mission, because that's just not acceptable as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, there's definitely some micro problems going on here, and those 3 destroyers are tearing my fleet apart. Now, in Homeworld 1, I think there's in the original Homeworld, I think there's only 1 destroyer, maybe 2 at most. But again, because of the scaling way that this game works, it spawned 3 destroyers, and that is a lot of firepower going on. But fortunately, I believe that my God, they're tearing them up. But I think that my there we go, 1 down. So I think we can get 2 down, and then it's just a case of can we get enough salvage corvettes together to steal the final one. Yeah, that's better. See how much fire. But the destroyer's taking it like a champ at the moment. And this is, you know, if you guys wanted to know why I so desperately want a destroyer, that's why. They are powerful as hell. Is the reason that I want one. Now, I'm taking losses here, and that's 2 destroyers down. Okay, right. So I'm just going to heal up my ships and try and get... I'm taking Group 3 away from the final destroyer because I want that destroyer captured. And do I actually have some salvage corvettes stuck to it? I can't make that out. Right. I don't think I have any stuck to it, but I'm going to just... The ones that I have available, I'm going to stick them to this destroyer, because what it will do is, even though there aren't enough on it to capture it potentially, it will immobilize it. And as long as I can keep the enemy... As long as I can keep the enemy off me, then I might have a chance here. You need 4 salvage corvettes in order to take a destroyer. So I've got 2 stuck to it there. Here comes the 3rd. So it looks like I might get away with this. I need to have my... Yeah, I'm actually telling... My fleet is firing at it, but it's only firing at it piecemeal, not focusing on it. So the good thing about that is that if they don't focus fire the destroyer's got enough health to just take it. They are a really big deal. There's a couple of assault frigates, I think, coming in around the back there, but this is my 4th one. Guys, don't hit the destroyer. Please don't hit the destroyer. Because the way this is going, it's going to be mine. I want this destroyer. Make up for some of the losses that I've got there. There's 3 more ships coming in up top. I'm just completely and utterly fixated on this destroyer. I want this destroyer so badly, and it looks like I'm going to get it. Now, there is one type of ship that is more powerful than a destroyer, but that doesn't come into the game until much, much later. And I think... Are we beginning to move? I think we're beginning to move. I think I've got the maximum number of salvage corvettes on it. Let's just have a look here. Do I? Are you moving back to... Yes, yes, it's moving back towards the ship. Okay. All I need to do now is keep these guys off me and destroy whatever small ships we have. You might think that I'm going to an awful lot of effort to capture this destroyer, and boy oh boy are you right. But it's worth it. It really, really is worth it. And there we go. I get my 4 salvage corvettes back. And I get a destroyer for the fleet, which is pretty awesome. I'm not going to say that I have not lost a lot of ships on this, because yes, I have. I have lost quite a lot on this mission, but I think that we can make good on that, and getting the destroyer is always valuable. So now that we've captured it, let's reinforce Group 3. Let's take out this ship, because... What is it? An assault frigate? Okay. It's one of those things, I could capture it, but it's not. Assault frigates really aren't that... They are quite... I mean, they're nice to have. They're a nice to have more than anything else. And speaking of have, my salvage corvettes have got in there, so I'm going to steal that as well. I'm going to get my money's worth out of this, I swear. And assault frigates do certainly have some uses. I didn't like them too much in Homeworld 1, but in Remastered they seem to be sort of light ship killers, which is a nice area to be. And here in fact is my destroyer, and isn't she a beauty? Yep, that is a Taidaan destroyer. The Kushan model is slightly different, but either way it's nice. And I've got my stolen resource collectors over there as well. I told you guys I'm going to get my money's worth out of this mission. Now, All we need to do is finish off what's left of this fleet, and all that's left of this fleet is these few fighters over here and this carrier. So what do you think I'm going to do with this carrier? Yes. Now, I'm doing the sensible way of doing this, and that's not ramming my salvage corvettes down the carrier's throat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my fleet as a distraction to pull the fighters away and hopefully pull the carrier towards it, and then I'm going to send my salvage corvettes in from the side and they will capture the carrier, and that should be the end of the mission. Well, aside from one thing that I'm definitely going to show off, but I think you guys might enjoy it because it's yet another bug with Homeworld Remastered we're about to find. As much as I love the graphical upgrade, I think that there are definite flaws in this game. Some of it brought in by importing into the Homeworld 2 engine, and some of them brought in by just being hysterical, and I can't believe that the devs didn't notice this. But anyway, let's just grab this. The fighters will try and harass my salvage corvettes, but I've just got too much firepower in there in order for them to be really any sort of threat to my salvage corvettes. If I'm really that bothered about it, I can put my repair corvettes on repairing my salvage corvettes, but as you can see, my fighters and corvettes are pulling away everything that they've got. So let's just head back to the mothership, and I'm going to take this carrier with me. Guys, I'm not convinced. I'm really not convinced that that's going to fit. Yeah, I think you might want to think about this. You ever think the devs didn't think that they wanted you to do this? Guys, really, you're going to scratch the paint? Apparently it works. Who knew?
Taidaan Fleet destroyed. Hyperspace coordinates locked in.
Strike group attack order confirmed. Group 2 copies.
That's all well and good, Command, but what the hell is this?
Roger.
What is this all about? My carrier just went rogue.
Engaging targets of opportunity.
Yeah, this is some kind of... I don't know what's happened here. Obviously, the carrier was building stuff that it had docked inside of it, and the moment that it changes allegiances, it just throws all the ships out. And yeah, that's just... I mean, it's funny, but I mean, come on. They're no threat to anything, so I'm not going to lose anything or anything like that. But, I mean... You'd think that that would have been programmed into the game somewhere, but anyway, I'm not going to make you watch it because fighter swarms can be a little bit difficult to clean up. 10,000 RUs in the bank and a happy fleet. So we've got rid of the fleet that destroyed Karak, and it's time for us to be on our way to Higara. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.